scrimmage. Number 16, Evie McNeely. Number 17, Jillian Glad. Number 20, Maddie Arca. Number 29, Amy McNeely. And number 31, Haley Pierce. Head coach of the Yellow Jackets is Mickey Grotowski. And now, let's meet and greet the starting lineup for your Averett University Cougars. A senior from Abingdon, Maryland, number 3, Faith Portland. A freshman from Woodward, Virginia, number 7, Andrea Bates. A senior from Rotterdam, the Netherlands, number 10, Lisana Guerrero. A sophomore from Williamsburg, Virginia, number 12, Zaria America. A senior from Riverdale, Georgia, number 12, Portia Davis. A junior from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, number 14, Brianna Sams. A sophomore from Helsinki, Finland, number 17, Tia Cruz. A senior from Frederick, Maryland, number 19, Shayla Romero. A senior from Stafford, Virginia, number 20, Candace Johnson. A junior from St. Petersburg, Florida, number 21, Gianna Menabo. A sophomore from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, number 25, Kaden Holdsworth. And in goal, a senior from Arnold, Maryland, number 28, Kayla Alperstein. Averett is coached by Hannah Ayers, assisted by Courtney DeLove. Trainer for the Cougars is Maria Ochoa. Fans at this time, we ask that you please rise and honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome to the Averett Sports Network. I am Chewy Clark. Here to my right is my good pal, Luis Martinez. As we get ready for this matchup tonight here between the Randolph-Macon Yellow Jackets and your Averett University Cougars. Y'all heard the starters. The anthem has been done. We are waiting for the ladies to walk out and for the circle to start the action here tonight. Luis, how do you think tonight's game is going to go so far?
Well, Chewy, it's a very tough matchup for your home Cougars against a very formidable, very tough opponent, Randolph-Macon. Definitely a top 5 team in our conference, in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference. The Cougars are going to need to move around the ball, clear efficiently, and get the ground balls. But that's basically any possible strategy any coach gives their lacrosse team before they go out there and ball out. They're definitely going to need to communicate well on defense. This team is very fast. Randolph-Macon is a very quick team, pushing a lot of transition. And it starts off here in the center circle for the draw for the Cougars.
I think the big thing for the Cougars today is they're going to have to keep it clean in between the 30s. They can't afford to get a lot of green cards, and they can't afford to give The Yellow Jackets a lot of EMO opportunities because that they're going to take advantage of that. They move the ball very well. They're quick, a lot of off-ball movement, but they also don't want to give up a lot of 8-meter shots because that's a one-on-one with the keeper, and that's never a recipe for success.
No, absolutely not. The Cougars are coming off of a win against Ferrum this past Saturday, 14-10 at home. Hopefully they find some juice from that game to go against these Yellow Jackets. As
Faith Bolin steps into the circle against Taylor Middlestader for the opening draw here.
Yeah, Faith Bolin, incredible player, amazing career here at Averett, a notable name around campus from Abingdon, Maryland.
And that's a draw control for Bates. And Bolin now with it.
Bolin, first to strike, just as we talk about Bolin, an incredible player.
And that outlet goes to Omar for the Yellow Jackets. Up the field to Pierce. Pierce now with it for the Yellow Jackets. Pierce running it down in the offensive zone. She gets it to Creekmore. Crone's there with puts the ball on the mat, but Pierce is there to get possession back for the Yellow Jackets. Shot and a goal. Goal scored by number 31, Haley Pierce, as she starts the scoring here today, putting the Yellow Jackets up 1-0 with just less than a minute here gone in the first quarter.
Yeah, it was a very strong start by the Cougars, getting the draw recovery on their own half. Bolin obviously driving. Quick clear out by the goalie for Randolph-Macon, number 17, Gillian Gladen. And then obviously on the other side of the field, the Yellow Jackets had a bit of trouble as Tia Crones put the ball right down on the turf. They picked it right back up, drove the one-on-one, and had an open shot on Alperstein.
And Bolin and Middlestader are going back to the circle here to get action underway. And that is a whistle on the draw as Lowry has it, looks for a feed inside. That one's off the mark.
Yeah, lots of ball movement here by the Yellow Jackets, moving it outside, finding the opening inside, and making sure they don't cause any unforced turnovers.
Pierce with the ball for the Yellow Jackets. Gets it over to Moxham. Now Snoddy with it. Snoddy shot over the cage.
Yeah, shifty move there by number 4 in black, getting around Minifo.
Feed inside, good handle. And the goal scored by number 18, Conway.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets take a 2-0 lead here early on in the first quarter against the Cougars.
It was just a beautiful cut there by Conway. Right down Main Street pretty much. Caught the defense by surprise and finished up high.
Yeah, a lot of off-ball movement, which is ideal in a game like lacrosse, especially on the women's side, where you don't have, obviously, all the protection as opposed to the men's lacrosse game.
And now it is Bolin and Creekmore at the circle.
Bolin, new to the draw, didn't take one before last year.
Draw control for Creekmore. She pushes it up to Maxwell. Maxwell now in the offensive zone. Makes a nice move. And Guijo there puts it on the floor. Crone's unable to pick it up. And we will have a whistle here outside of the 12. So let's see where Lowry gets set up with the ball and possession for the Yellow Jackets. Correction, it's an 8-meter.
Yeah, and this is what we mentioned early on, Chewy, is those 8-meter shots are a big scoring opportunity for both teams. If you can take advantage of those, either move it or rip it right off the bat, it's a great scoring opportunity, as we see right there for the Yellow Jackets.
Lowry sets up for the drive, off the whistle, walks it right in, and is able to beat Alperstein there for another goal, as it is now 3-0 in favor of the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, one of the disadvantages of kind of the way this field is placed is the sun. As you can see, Alperstein having a bit of trouble there with the sun in her eye. And obviously an 8-meter shot, not an easy one-on-one with the goalie.
Definitely not ideal circumstances for a goalie, as Holdsworth is now out there against Creekmore at the circle.
Yeah, Holdsworth, our Canadian, our neighbor from up north.
Big lefty. And that'll be a draw control for Maxwell. Maxwell in the offensive zone. Rolls it. Overpass to Conway, as Moxham ended up with it on a sweep over the top, gained top side, and took it right down Main Street for another goal.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets are taking advantage of these one-on-one matchups, taking from up top, getting either top side or finding an off-ball cutter.
It's got almost like a three-man weave look from basketball. It's pass to a sweep, and if the defense isn't going to force you down the alley and they're going to give up that topside sweep, then after the second or third one, an opening down the main is going to come up, and they've been cashing in as we go back to the circle. And that's a draw control by Davis, as Davis marches it into the offensive zone for the Cougars. Davis brings it to X. Davis to Bates. Bates to Gio. To Minifo. To Bolin. Back to Minifo. Minifo scans. Gets it back up top to Bolin. Bolin thinks about a move. Now decides to take it on a drive. Walks into a triple team and has the ball knocked away, but Minifo's there on the ground ball. Minifo pressured hard. Minifo to Holdsworth. Holdsworth tries to roll crease, gets it back to the wing on Minifo. Davis now makes a move, loses her footing, but is able to maintain the ball as she kicks it back to Minifo.
Yeah, this is very good ball movement here by the Cougars.
Minifo to Davis. Davis to Bolin. Thought about a drive, but backs it out. Now she re-dodges there. Backs away again. Bolin rolls off the pressure. Kicks it to Minifo.
Not much time left on the shot clock. 10 seconds counting down.
Minifo scans. Good pick by Holdsworth. Minifo at X. Minifo to Gio. And that will be a shot clock violation, as that is great defense there by the Yellow Jackets. Now it's Omar. One woman clearing for the Yellow Jackets as she hits Fowler. Fowler now in the offensive zone for the Yellow Jackets, as she'll carry to X. Looks inside, and that is Conway unable to bury that one high on a good feed from Fowler. Fowler looks inside again for Conway, and that connection is good. So that is now 5-0 in favor of the Yellow Jackets off of a good feed from Fowler to Conway for the finish inside.
Yeah, a lot of quick offense here by the Yellow Jackets. Quick on transitions, and finding that opening inside has been their bread and butter so far in this game.
The Cougars were able to get an offensive possession, which is important to possess the ball on offense to give your defense a break. However, the Yellow Jackets defense did a great job of killing that clock.
Yeah, the Yellow Jackets are anticipating that that one-on-one dodge by Faith Bolin up top, sending two quickly.
As Holdsworth and Creekmore go back to the circle. And that is a draw control by Creekmore. And that is Mao gets it up to McNeely. McNeely at X. Hits the one more. Missed connection on the cutter as Moxham is there on that loose ball. Moxham now looking up top. Gets it to Lowry. Lowry on a drive. Walked the dog a little on that drive as she kicks it to X. And that's Conway who tried to roll the crease right there. Maintains possession. It's back to Lowry at X. Top to Creekmore. Creekmore up to Moxham. Moxham on a drive. Shot up high. And score for Moxham. 6-0 now in favor of Randolph-Macon.
Yeah, for the moment there, the Cougars had very good on-ball and off-the-ball defense, finding those cutters, picking them up properly. It's just that one-on-one dodge, top middle, have to stay squared up, especially in that situation, have to drive them to a certain side.
And with that, a timeout is taken on the field. We'll be back in a few moments after this timeout break. When we're back on the Averett Sports Network here, I'm Chewy Clark with Luis Martinez as we are underway here between Randolph-Macon and your Averett University Cougars. Randolph-Macon has jumped out to an early 6-0 lead as Holdsworth and Creekmore are back at the circle to get us underway.
Yeah, it's a very tough start for the Cougars. It starts all here in the middle of the field and definitely on the defensive side. Those off-ball cuts, got to pick those up, and those one-on-one dodges have to shade them to a side, dictate.
And a whistle on that one. Possession will go to the Cougars as Bolin picks it up. Bolin walks it into the offensive zone, kicks it to Minifo. Minifo scans. Hits Sams now on the wing. Sams back to Minifo.
Yeah, notice that quick approach to Bolin.
They are not giving her any light up top.
And they'll call shooting space for Bolin.
Bolin on an 8-meter is definitely ideal for the Cougars. Let's see what she does on this one.
Against the goalie, Jillian Clayton.
Looks like she's going to run this one in for a close shot. Shot scored by Bolin. What a rip.
Yeah, look at that fire in Bolin. She's glad she got her team on the board.
Definitely a good spark of hope and life from this Cougar side. Is only 6 minutes here, gone here so far, so the Cougars definitely aren't out of it. That one definitely brings them back and sparks that fire that was kind of kind of up in the air from that big 6-0 run that Macon went on, as Holdsworth and Middle Stater are at the circle. And that's a draw control for Middle Stater. His possession is with the Yellow Jackets as Miss Anna has it for the Yellow Jackets in the offensive zone. Gets it to Middle Stater. Over to McNeely. McNeely with it. Gets it to Lowry at X. Back to McNeely, unable to connect on that.
So off-ball cuts for the Yellow Jackets. That is a wide-open cut right there. Need to find the cutter and sit. Great save there by Albertine.
What a move there by Lowry. Great save for the Cougars. So that is Moxham. Tried to wrap crease, pulls it out. There's Middle Stater now. Looks around, makes a move. Thought about a shot, but will back it out. Middle Stater over to McNeely. And now Lowry with it. Lowry looks inside but can't connect with Snooty there. And that'll be Cougar ball off of that chase. There's a clear to Crones. Crones up to Sams.
Sam scans the field, looking for Bolin. Finds Bolin. Bolin now turns on the Jets.
Bolin walks it in the offensive zone for the Cougars. Gets it to Davis. Davis now makes a move. And Bolin gets it off of that shovel pass. Gets it up top to Minifo. Minifo is able to collect that ball back for the Cougars. Bolin picks it up off the carpet. Bolin threw a lot of contact on that drive.
Looks like another 8-meter for Bolin.
That's an ideal position for
No,
a 12-meter, but still, top of the key is a good place to be.
Yeah, Bolin's going to probably move this inside.
Be looking for some cuts from the wings here to get some motion towards the net. The Yellow Jackets have done a very good job of identifying Bolin as a very key factor in this Cougar offense, and they're taking precautionary measures to try and neutralize her from the offensive sets. Quick approaches out, lock-offs, quick double teams, really not letting her find her rhythm on offense, as well as playing very sound team defense overall that's really thrown the Cougars off here so far.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the officials to get the shot clock in order, and Bolin will set up for this 12-meter shot.
Bolin finds Davis on the wing, and that'll be a shooting space call, and that'll be an 8-meter for Davis. She is on the wing. Wouldn't be surprised to see her take a drive off of this 8-meter position. And Davis tried to kick it to the one more, but that pass is picked off.
Yeah, that's a
up
very
and
good
out
read.
pass.
That's a great read there by the Yellow Jackets. And that fast transition is what they like to push.
Lesnovich now with it. Lesnovich kicks it to McNeely. McNeely at X now. kicks it up to the wing. Good dodge. Feet inside, can't connect. That is McNeely over to Schwartz, but saved by Alperstein. Outlet to Romero. Romero rolls, trying to gain advantage up the sideline as she walks it into the offensive zone for the Cougars. Gio now with it. Cuts inside, hits Holdsworth, but that pass is batted down. And possession will go to the Yellow Jackets.
Those big, long passes that the Yellow Jackets are connecting on is pretty vital to their offense. As you see there, they score on the other side of the field.
Schwartz with the goal for the Yellow Jackets, making it 7-1. As you were saying, those quick clears, those long passes, the ball moves faster than your feet, and being able to utilize that to cover so much ground of this field really makes it hard to cover in transition and gets you looks exactly like that.
Yeah, absolutely. The Yellow Jackets are finding huge openings in the middle of the field, which allows them to possess the ball for so long, resulting in such a big lead in this first quarter.
Holdsworth and Sung now at the circle. Draw control Sung. She kicks it up to McNeely. McNeely on the wing. Makes her move and will carry through X. Now it's with Moxham up top. Moxham loses it when she makes her move. And Cougars will gain possession off that ground ball scrap. Gio now with it. Legs it up the field for the Cougars. And is able to walk her way out of that triple team right there. She gets it to Davis in the offensive zone. Davis on her drive, loses her footing, and will back it out.
Yeah, Davis has had two of those little slips up top.
Bolin now with it for the Cougars. Bolin scans, gets it to Minifo. Minifo thought about a drive, now kicks it to Davis. Davis with the push pass to Bolin. Bolin draws the contact yet again. And that is another 8-meter for Bolin. Let's see if she can repeat her first one.
Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, this is a great scoring opportunity for either side. Wow. Top shelf rip there for number 3 in gold.
Up top where Mama hides the cookies from number 3, Faith Bolin.
Yeah, Bolin definitely a formidable player. There's a reason why they're playing her so aggressively, so early.
It's because if you don't, she gets an open look. She's going to make you pay for it, just like she has off the 2 8-meters.
An extremely shifty player, incredible shot. Yeah, she will take a breather for the Cougs.
That is a draw control by Maxwell for the Yellow Jackets. Maxwell pushes it one more to Toth. Toth now at X for the Yellow Jackets.
A big cut inside all the way from the box.
Moxham now with it up top. Moxham pushes it one more. Tries to hit Maxwell inside. That is Schwartz who will draw the foul. A lot of contact there as Schwartz tried to drive in. There's an 8-meter from Schwartz as she will drive in and finish through pressure. There's now 8-2 in favor of the Yellow Jackets. Bones back out on the field for the Cougars. Holdsworth and Creekmore at the circle. Draw control, Creekmore. She gets it up to Maxwell. Maxwell brings it in the offensive zone for the Yellow Jackets. Maxwell sweeps over top. Shot off the pipe. And that is Creekmore to get that ground ball. It's now McNeely up top. McNeely makes her move and draws contact on that one.
She'll get shooting space for Sam's being right in front of the net.
And McNeely with the 8-meter of her own. Kicks it for the one more. Creekmore shot and score. My mistake. That is Maxwell with the shot and a goal.
Yeah, it's a very smart pass to make outside. Everybody focus on you. Kicks it out one more, proper pass. And they're not going to allow the goal.
It looks like the goal is waved off. So Alperstein kicks it out to Romero for a clear.
Yeah, Romero drawing two, turns to her left, flips it over to Bolin.
Bolin is swarmed every time she gets the ball. Holdsworth now carries the ball to X for the Cougars. Holdsworth trying to force her way in there. She kicks it up top to Bolin. Bolin forced outside off of her drive. Kicks it one more inside to Sams. Sams has it knocked away, but Holdsworth is there to clean it up. It's knocked away yet again.
It'll stay in possession of the Cougars off the goalie, number 17, Galaden.
Holdsworth now. 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Kicks it to Bolin. Bolin on the drive. Ooh. Looking for the one more to Davis, but that is picked off by Lesnovich. Lesnovich running it up the field for the Yellow Jackets. Gets it to McNeely. And McNeely takes it herself. Running all the way down from the 30.
Yeah, that was a great look there by Bolin. Seeing Davis creeping up on the crease, but just even better defense there by the Yellow Jackets, and they capitalize off of that quick transition.
Those transition goals have definitely been a big help for the Yellow Jackets in this first quarter. And that right there is a prime example of why transition is such an important part of this game. If you run it well offensively, it gives you a lot of great looks. And if your transition defense is not operating as a unit, it leaves openings such as that one for McNeely. And that is a draw control by Middlestater. 10 seconds left now in the first quarter. As the ball now works its way to X. Now with McNeely on the wing. And that is it for the first quarter. Your score is Randolph-Macon 10, Averett 2. We'll be back in a few moments with the start of the second quarter. Welcome back to the Averett Sports Network. I am Chewy Clark. To my right is my good pal Luis Martinez. So we are getting ready for the second quarter to start here between the Randolph-Macon Yellow Jackets and your Averett University Cougars.
Yeah, definitely a tough first quarter for the Cougars. Yellow Jackets taking advantage of fast transition play, off-ball cuts, and it starts here at the center circle.
As Middlestater gets that draw control for the Yellow Jackets. Middlestater kicks it to Krug. Is now at X for the Yellow Jackets. This is now Middlestater on the wing. Middlestater pushes it one more to McNeely. Over to Snoddy. Snoddy on a drive. Beautiful move there by Snoddy, but just wide on that one. It's the Yellow Jackets there on the rebound. Donaway up top. Kicks it one more to Snooty. Snooty down to GLE, now at X. So Lowry pushes it to X again. Beautiful roll there as it's back at X with Lowry. One more inside. Can't connect on that one as Crones is there to pick it up for the Cougars. Kicks it to Guijo. Guijo's legging it up for the Cougars. And she will get her own ground ball.
Yeah, very good check, but Guijo very quick to turn around and pick it up.
That is Lowry now with it. Or my mistake, that is Pierce. Pierce in the offensive zone. Pierce lost it on her move. Was able to get her own ground ball back. It's now on the wing for the Yellow Jackets.
So 2-on-1.
It's now at X with Lowry. Can't connect on that feed from X.
Yeah, it's very lucky for the Cougars. That was a wide open cut coming from the substitution box, as they'll pick it right back up.
And it's back with Donaway. Now it's Lowry at X. Kruba gets it to Maxwell. Maxwell kicks it to Lowry at X. Feed inside. That one gets picked off by Alperstein. Hits Guijo in the flat. Guijo the one more up. Too tall for Bolin. And that is Lesnovich. Draws a lot of contact. That will be a yellow card for Bolin, letting Randolph-Macon go a woman up for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's a tough break for number 3 in gold. Obviously, she jumps out for that ball. Wants to come down with it, just can't quite control it at that type of altitude. And very aggressive on the ground ball, just a little too much aggressive to the eyes of the official.
It's now in the offensive zone with Maxwell. Maxwell kicks it to Creekmore.
And a shot from the 8-meter from Creekmore.
Creekmore looks ready to drive off of this 8-meter. Creekmore with the drive, shot, low, and a goal. This is now 11-2 in favor of the Yellow Jackets. As Bolin gets released from the box on that goal.
Yeah, tough break there for the Cougars. Got to give her shooting space. Can't be inside the arc for too long, or else you'll get called for it. And those are the type of shots you do not want to give Randolph-Macon if you are Averett. You do not want to see them get a wide open shot. We've seen it all day today so far. They are very good shooters. They will find the opening. They will shoot it away from your stick. Definitely not something you want to give up.
Not at all. Definitely don't want to give an offense like Randolph-Macon too many 8 meters because they will make you pay for it. And that is a draw control for the Yellow Jackets by Pierce. She's got a full head of steam. Makes her move. Spins it back out. Kicks it over to Snoddy. Snoddy over to Kuba. Feed inside. Shot and a goal there by Conway.
Yeah, that's an amazing feed. Even better finish with a lot of pressure on her. She had a defender directly on her back, stick in the face. Just tucks it, finds the opening away from Alperstein, and gets another one for the Yellow Jackets.
Fowler on that feed, threading the needle inside to Conway. Conway's able to bury that one and extend the lead out now to 10. So there's now 12-2 in favor of the Yellow Jackets. So we go back to the circle now.
It's been a tough day so far in the center circle, as the Yellow Jackets have been, as you can see, very, very dominant.
That's a draw control from Kirkoba. Kirkoba's going to carry to X for the Yellow Jackets. Kirkoba gets it to Lowry. Lowry scans, looks inside. Beautiful roll and a goal there from Fowler.
Yeah, that is an incredible, incredible handle on the ball. Caught it in the right, switched over, rolled back. Didn't think she had enough time to switch to her left and decides to twister it into the top right of Alperstein.
A play like that, it doesn't matter how good your defense is. That's just better offense right there from the Yellow Jackets.
Incredible handle there by the Yellow Jackets. And we are back at the center circle as Bolin will take this next draw.
Bolin versus Kirkoba at the circle. That is a draw control by Mal for the Yellow Jackets. Mal makes a move.
Yeah, it's a tough break there for Sams. She tried to draw her to one side, gets beat top side, checks to the back of the stick, but will be called for an 8-meter shot.
It is Mal from the 8-meter. Kicks it one more up top, looks inside. And that is Maxwell, who is able to go up high, grab that one, corral it, and bury it in the back of the net.
Yeah, the ball movement for the Yellow Jackets has been incredible so far. Everybody thought she was going to go ahead and take that 8-meter shot, decides to kick it out, and then finding the inside cut. And that's a great handle there to finish.
The Yellow Jackets have been very consistent at a high level of handling passes with pressure in their hands and being able to handle passes that make it through pressure and a lot of traffic.
Bowling going to take this next draw for the Cougars. And Sam stepped over the line.
It'll be Yellow Jackets ball as Fowler picks it up for the Yellow Jackets.
Very quick offense on Romero. And a wraparound crease by number 11, Lowry.
Little hezzy move made right there by Fowler. Finds Lowry rolling the crease. And Alperstein just not able to make a doorstop save on that one. So it is now 15-2 in favor of Randolph-Macon.
Definitely not the type of start in the first half you want to have for the Cougars. The Yellow Jackets are absolutely running away with this one so far. And a goalie change.
It's number 33, MJ Tucker, is now in cage for the Yellow Jackets. Draw control Pierce for the Yellow Jackets. She will walk it into the offensive zone. Looks inside, finds Lowry, another shot and goal. Early offense has been the key for success. If you are a Yellow Jacket, they are getting great looks early in the possessions off of transition, whether it be defense to offense or from the circle, and they're finding the one more to the middle of the field and giving their teammates great opportunities and great looks in high percentage areas, and they've been cashing in so far.
Yeah, another benefit that the Yellow Jackets have against the Cougars is the amount of personnel they have ready to suit up compared to the Cougars, who have been playing for their starters so far. The Yellow Jackets can wholesale their defense, offense, possibly their whole team at a blink of an eye.
And draw control. Pierce yet again fouled on that one. Possession goes to the Yellow Jackets. Pierce walking it in yet again. She'll take a shot, saved by Alperstein. Up and out, looking for Davis. Davis is able to handle that bounce. And she is off to the races, chased down by Lisnovich. Gets it to Bolin. Bolin will walk it in the offensive zone for the Cougars. Over to Minifo at the top. Guillot now with it. Bates now with it in the corner. Back to Guillot. Minifo with it. One more to Bolin. Back to Minifo. Minifo on the sweep. Bolin now with it. Bolin makes a move, but a beautiful check there. Cougars unable to get the ground ball as Pierce comes up with it for the Yellow Jackets. Flips it one more to Omar. Omar is off to the races. Big pass to Middlestater. Middlestater's going to take it down. She's going to run off to the wing. Looks inside. Shot and a goal there by Toth. There's now 17-2 in favor of the Yellow Jackets. Again, another goal coming off of that early offense, early in the shot clock, right off of transition. Not really letting the Cougars defense get settled, get their matchups. There's too much movement and too much pressure being applied by the Yellow Jackets offense for the Cougars to really find their footing early in that shot clock, where a lot of their goals have been. This is now Bolin and Creekmore at the circle. Draw control. Mao, as it is now McNeely with it. McNeely's going to carry to X. Kick it to the wing for Benton. Benton up top now. McNeely with it. Gets it back to Benton. Benton makes a move. Looks inside. Off the pipe on that shot. And a crease violation will be called. Alperstein finds Romero on the corner. Romero walks it up. Roll by Romero. Romero's able to get it in the offensive zone for the Cougars. Guillot now with it for the Cougars. Guillot to Davis. Davis with the move. Tries to drive in. Pulls it back out. Gets it to Minifo. Off the mark, but Minifo's there for the ground ball. Gets it to Sams. Sams to Holdsworth. Holdsworth to Minifo. Back to Holdsworth. Holdsworth called for a charge, and that will be Yellow Jacket ball as Omar picks it up for the Yellow Jackets and is off to the races. Kicks it upfield, too tall for Mal, but Mal is able to pick that ball up off the carpet. Get it one more to McNeely. Feeds inside. Shot and a goal by McNeely. McNeely on that goal for the Yellow Jackets, as it is now 18-2.
Yeah, definitely in a settled defense, you have to communicate and settle up yourself and make sure every single person on the field has a matchup. Every single person sees a player and matches up They're wide open, Yellow Jacket in the middle of the field, have to pick it up, cannot allow a wide open shot on your goalie if you are the Cougars.
We are under 20 seconds left here in this first half, so we go back to the circle to get action back underway. And the Cougars will get possession off of that as we are out of time here in the first half. Your score is Randolph-Macon 18, Averett 2. We will be back for the start of the second half in a few minutes.
And welcome back for the second half of this matchup between your very own Averett University Cougars and the visiting Yellow Jackets of Randolph-Macon. Score is currently 18-2 in favor of the Yellow Jackets. Cougars are going to win the first draw of the half by default and get us started here.
And that's Holdsworth with the ball, running it down below GLE for the Cougars as she gets it back to Minifo on the wing. Kicks it back to Holdsworth, who's going to try and take a drive, but kicks it back to Minifo. Holdsworth tries one more time. Is able to get topside. Gets a shot off, but it doesn't clear the traffic, as that is Lesnovich who gets it up the field to Maxwell for the Yellow Jackets, as Maxwell has a wide open lane to the offensive zone. Maxwell kicks it inside one more. Kirkuba's not able to get a shot off. And that will be Yellow Jackets' ball as Fowler scoops up that ground ball, kicks it one more to Lowry. Creekmore with it now. Gets it back to X. Fowler looks inside, can't connect with Pierce for that one. Ground ball scooped up by Johnson for the Cougars. And Johnson draws contact.
On a yellow card for number 22, Amanda Maxwell. Put the Cougars in really good opportunity here as they are one player up.
Johnson gets it into the zone with Gio. Gio pushes it one more to Holdsworth. Holdsworth gets it to Minifo on the wing. Back to Holdsworth. Holdsworth tries for the drive. Is backed out there. Minifo now with it. Inside feed as that one gets tipped away. Good scrap on the ground ball. Good box out by Minifo as Gio is able to goose that one to the corner and scoop it up herself. She flips it to Holdsworth. Holdsworth inside. That one's tipped away. That is Sam's on the ground ball. Bolin now with it. Thought about making a run at the cage, but she's backed away. Bolin scans. Back to Holdsworth. Holdsworth picks it up off the carpet as we're just under 20 on the shot clock. Holdsworth push past to Bolin. Shot and score. What a snipe there by Bolin.
Yeah, that quick release there by number 3 for the Cougars, finding that top left corner. And she will get one not off of an 8-meter mark, as her first two came off of the 8-meter shooting space.
And Bolin with that goal now has a hat trick on the day, assisted by number 25, Caden Holdsworth. And it is Bolin at the circle for the Cougars. Squaring off with Snooty.
And this has been a really tough situation that the Cougars are in. Obviously not a lot of legs, so they can't substitute as much as they would like to.
Draw control by Bolin. Gets it to Minifo. Pushes it one more to Holdsworth. Holdsworth takes a run in. Kicks it back out. Minifo scrapping for the ground ball as Snooty drops that one out of bounds. Possession will stay with the Cougars. Minifo to Gio. Gio to Holdsworth.
It seemed like Gio had a wide open lane there for a second if she just switched back to her right.
Holdsworth kicks it to Minifo, unable to handle that one, but is there for the ground ball. Holdsworth now scraps for a ground ball. It's goosed out, and the Yellow Jackets will scoop that one up and go the other way with it. Fowler unable to corral that pass as Romero's there to scoop it up for the Cougars.
Romero has been pushing a lot of transition, not really relying on a lot of those long passes, just taking it herself.
A push is called there. The Cougars will maintain possession of the ball. And Holdsworth has a 12-meter free position. Holdsworth walks it in, looking for the one more, finds Bolin. Bolin slithers her way inside, gets a shot off. And that will be another 8-meter for Bolin. Just off center, a very good position to be in for a shooter.
I'm saying she goes top right on this one.
Off-stick hip. Good placement there on that goal by Faith Bolin, as that is her 4th on the day. Despite Randolph-Macon's best efforts to keep her out of the game and keep her off the board, she finds herself 4 goals so far and has willed her way past all the efforts.
Oh, they called her a stick. Seems like they're going to disallow the goal. And
I don't really know what just happened,
she's going to
but
have to retake it. Seems like she had some words with the official. Not sure exactly what kind of decision-making went into that. They're going to reset the clock, and Bolin will get another shot from 8 meters.
let's see what she can do with this one.
Can't imagine she's very happy with that decision by the official.
Especially now with that save by Tucker.
Yeah, definitely not, as she is a full head of steam on the ride.
Middle Stater is able to outleg the Cougars and walk it in the offensive zone.
Big body block there by Dejanay Johnson. Wow.
What a box out there by Johnson as she's picked it up and going the other way for the Cougars. Big turn, loses it in the middle of the field. But she is able to get it back for the Cougars.
Yeah, that's a strong push there by Dejanay Johnson. Just ran herself into seemed like a quadruple team.
And Lowry now has it in the offensive zone for the Yellow Jackets, and she's going to pull it to X and let the Yellow Jackets get settled. Donway with it, gets it to Fowler. Fowler to Lowry. Lowry moves inside and is able to sneak under her defender and bury that one in the net. So there's now 19-3.
Yeah, Lowry has been very good with that roll back inside, finding the opening, using the leverage off of Romero to spin in, using one hand to cradle, getting to the middle of the field, and then tucking it right behind Alberstein.
And that is such a hard move to defend.
When done properly.
Yeah, that hitch up high, cutting under, and then shielding your defender with your back and having nothing but the goalie in the cage in front of you, if you can execute that move as well as Lowry just did, you get looks and results like that very frequently. That is a draw control for the Yellow Jackets, but Bolin almost able to pick that pass off as McNeely now has it for the Yellow Jackets in the offensive zone. McNeely carries to X, pushes it up to the wing. It's now up top with the other McNeely. Schwartz now with it. McNeely picks up that loose ball. It's up top to Mal. Now it's on the wing with McNeely. McNeely on the sweep. Looks inside. Beautiful look inside for that shot and goal. It's a goal scored by number 26, Caddy Benton, off of that feed from McNeely. This is now 20-3 in favor of the Yellow Jackets. So we go back to the circle to get action back underway. Luis, what trends have you noticed so far today that have helped the Yellow Jackets find this much success?
So those quick transition passes, that fast transition offense, and the first-time ground balls especially have helped them a lot gain possession on the offensive side. But a lot of their goals so far today have come off of that fast transition, either a save by the goalie or a cost turnover by the Yellow Jackets, sending it right back, flipping the field very quickly, and finding those openings. As we see right here, Davis sends it back to the Yellow Jackets.
As Benton now absorbs a lot of contact. Benton makes her move and is able to get in the offensive zone for the Yellow Jackets. Pushes one more to X. Now finds the far wing. Schwartz gets it up top. To Creekmore. Gets it to McNeely. McNeely up top. Gets it back down to Benton. Missed connection on that, but Benton's able to get it back up off the carpet. Thought about hitting Schwartz on that cut, but pushes it for another cut. Off the crossbar on that one. The Yellow Jackets maintain possession. They find their third cut, and that is McNeely, who buries another one. Relentless offensive possession right there for the Yellow Jackets. Cut after cut after cut. Not only that, but the feeds were all making it through the traffic. A lot of high percentage looks. And if you give up multiple high percentage looks like that, a goal is inevitable. So there's now 21-3. Just over 2 minutes left in the third quarter. So we go back to the circle here. It'll be Bolin against Toth.
Bolin, despite having the little amount of draw controls, has done a very good job to try to make it a scrap as much as she can.
As Pierce gets that draw control and a full head of steam into the offensive zone before she walks it out.
Yeah, she'll settle the offense here so the Yellow Jackets can run a motion.
It is Snotty now. Back to McNeely. To Pierce. Back with Toth. Gets it down low. McNeely scans. Gets it to Benton at X. Benton hits a cut And a finish right there. And that is Conway on the receiving end of that feed. And the goal is now 22-3. The Yellow Jackets very consistent with how they run their offensive sets. A lot of motion up top. And once they kick it down low, they're looking for those simultaneous and continuous cuts from up top. A lot of motion, a lot of moving parts. Requires a lot of timing done right. And the Yellow Jackets have been able to execute time after time so far here today.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier, Chewy. The weave motion offense that they play it absolutely phenomenal. Those off-ball cuts, finding the opening, a lot of on-ball movement as well is forcing the Cougars to try to make a decision, and it seems like they just haven't been able to keep up.
Absolutely, and all that motion, it gets the defense looking at so many different moving parts, and when you have timing such as the Yellow Jackets have, you need feeding at the level that the Yellow Jackets have been able to produce today, because an offense like that will generate looks, but if you can't execute on those looks, then all you're doing is running and wasting energy. The Yellow Jackets have been able to use that energy correctly and thread the needle time after time, and that is why they have the lead they do. We'll be back in just a minute with the start of the fourth quarter. Welcome back to the Averett Sports Network. I am Chewy Clark. To my right is my good pal, Luis Martinez, as we get set for the fourth quarter between the Randolph-Macon Yellow Jackets and your Averett University Cougars. Score is 22-3 as Faith Bolin starts off the fourth quarter with the draw control for the Cougars. And she's going hard at the net as she kicks it to Minifo up top.
Yeah, she wants that fourth goal back, taken away by the official.
Holdsworth gets it back to Minifo. Back to Holdsworth. Holdsworth inside. Boland's unable to corral that one, as it will be Lesnovich up the other way for the Yellow Jackets. Up and out to Conway. Conway's going to run it to X for the Yellow Jackets. It is now Toth up top to McNeely. Schwartz now back to Toth. Creekmore with it. Schwartz now looks inside. Beautiful feed there by Schwartz to Toth, and Toth is able to bury that one for a goal. This is now 23-3 with just over 2 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter.
extremely one-sided day today for the Yellow Jackets. They found a lot of openings on that fast break, that fast clear, those long distance passes.
So we go back to the circle to get action started back up. Let's see if Boland's able to get another draw control for her Cougars. Is up. And draw control by Pierce as Minifo almost had that one. Pierce pushing it yet again. Pulls it out. Gets it to Conway. Conway to Toth. Toth to Benton. Up top for Snoddy. Snoddy with the move. Fakes a shot. Gets it back to Benton. Over to Toth. And we will take a quick stoppage of play here.
Sams may have been caught on the turf. Glad to see she's walking upright.
And Snoddy unable to corral that feed from Benton. This is back with Toth. Toth thought about the feed, kicks it to Benton. Benton scans, looks for McNeely inside. McNeely doesn't get a shot opportunity. Back to Toth. Toth inside, and Conway's unable to corral that one. And it will be Cougar ball as it falls out of bounds. Davis now with the ball for the Cougars. Davis one more up to Minifo. Minifo legs it in the offensive zone. And she runs to space. Gets it up to Bolin.
Heavy pressure on Bolin as Bolin takes a drive to the net.
And the Cougars will maintain possession of the ball after that whistle. Bolin tries to split the double. Flips it to Sams. Sam's unable to corral that one as it is scooped up and going the other way for the Yellow Jackets. Benton now has it. Benton runs it into the offensive zone, and she will carry to X. As Toth now has it on the wing, gets it up top to Schwartz, over to McNeely, to Maxwell, back to Benton. Lowry with it, or Fowler, my mistake. Up top to Schwartz. Schwartz looking for Benton, and Gio is able to come up with that loose ball for the Cougars. Gio gets it to Minifo, unable to connect on that pass. And that will be going the other way with Conway. Conway's going to pull it to X and let the Yellow Jackets set up. Now Toth has it. Over to Schwartz. To Maxwell. Now it's McNeely with it. Back to Schwartz, to Mal. To Benton. To McNeely. To Schwartz. Down to Toth. Toth hits her teammate curling the crease. Toth now with it again. gets it to Benton. Benton looks inside, but her pass is batted down. And a lot of contact. Possession will stay with the Yellow Jackets. We are under 9 minutes here left to go in the fourth quarter. And Benton gets it to Toth. Toth tried to feed that inside. Beautiful interception by Alperstein. Kicks it to the flat for Romero. Romero picks it up off the carpet. Hits Gio in the middle of the field. Gio splits two as she walks into the offensive zone for the Cougars. Gio with the spin. One more to Holdsworth. Holdsworth able to corral that pass and buries that one for a goal. Which is now 23-4 after that late goal by Caden Holdsworth. Good offensive possession by the Cougars there, utilizing that early offense for themselves this time. Gio pushes it, works in. Beautiful one more feed to Holdsworth, who's able to corral that one and sneaks it by the goalie. As Bolin and Middle Stater go back to the circle. Draw control Pierce for the Yellow Jackets. Beautiful check there by Bolin. Bolin picks up the ground ball, absorbs the contact, and that will be a green card on Pierce, and that will be a woman up opportunity for the Cougars. Just under 7 minutes left to go here in the fourth quarter. Bolin gets it to Davis.
Davis getting swarmed.
Bolin now has it in the offensive zone for the Cougars. Bolin gets it to Minifo. Minifo back to Bolin. Bolin scans the field, looking for Minifo inside. They connect, but Minifo pulls it back, gets it to Gio, has that one knocked away as Omar's there on that loose ball. Hits the one more upfield, and that is Lowry with it for the Yellow Jackets with a full head of steam. Lowry's going to carry 2X. Lowry looks inside, and that will be an 8-meter awarded to Conway after drawing the heavy contact. This will be an EMO opportunity for the Yellow Jackets. As Conway sets up on the wing, 8-meter notch. Conway backs it out, hits Pierce up top, over to Toth. Back to Conway. Gets it to Benton, or McNeely, my mistake. Now Lowry with it. As Middlestatter has the ball up off the carpet as Kirkoba gets it to Fowler. Lowry now scans, Lowry makes a move. Looks inside and is unable to connect with Conway. So that is Middle Stater there on that ground ball for the Yellow Jackets. Fowler with it. Just under 5 minutes left to go here now. That's Fowler who found Conway in the middle of the field. Shot missed wide. It'll be Fowler who finds Middle Stater again in the middle of the field. Fowler carries it to the wing. Fowler carries it up top. And that will kill the shot clock. Good defensive stand there by the Cougars, running all 90 seconds off that shot clock and killing that offensive possession. Davis now has it for the Cougars. Davis absorbs some contact. Big turn there by Davis. Gets it up, looking for Bolin. That will be Yellow Jackets' ball. So Arca has it, gets it to Lowry. Over to Schwartz. The Yellow Jackets have had consistent production from both of their midfield lines today and their rotation from their attack. Definitely the coaching staff has to be happy with the level of production, as that is Fowler feeding Kirkuba inside as Kirkuba tucks that one high for another goal for the Yellow Jackets. It is now 24-4. So we go back to the circle. It is Donaway for the Yellow Jackets and Bolin for the Cougars. So the ref sets up the draw. Draw control Bolin. Bolin gets it to Holdsworth. Holdsworth on a drive. Shot, good kick save by the goalie. So Arca's there on the ground ball. Big outlet pass up to Donaway. And Donaway is off to the races. Donaway finds Fowler inside. Fowler pulls it out. We have 1 minute left here in the fourth quarter. There's Lowry behind. And that is Fowler's shot saved by Alperstein. Outlet pass to Gio. Gio up the sideline. Good trail check by Lowry. Gets it up to Fowler. Fowler's going to slowly walk it in. We have 25 seconds left here. Definitely a tale of two teams today, Luis. The Yellow Jackets came out hot. Their offense was a well-oiled machine, getting look after look as number 22, Amanda Maxwell, buries that one as time runs out to make it 25-4. that is definitely the cherry on top of a high-powered, high-flying offensive day for the Randolph-Macon Yellow Jackets, and all that motion, all that confusion seemed to be just a little too much for the Cougars and their defense, and it really kept them out of their groove and prevented them from finding a rhythm to operate effectively. Luis, what are some of the takeaways from today's game?
Definitely a lot of off-ball movement on the offensive side for the Yellow Jackets. Quick breakout passes leading into fast transition offense. The Cougars just couldn't quite hold on to that off-ball defense. There was a lot of mistakes, just ground balls, passing, catching, that the Yellow Jackets took advantage of, and that is why we have the score we have now.
Yeah, but there are some bright points for the Cougars. They fought all the way through. They never really gave up. You could tell that they were scrapping. And despite the score, they never stopped trying, and they never seemed to give up, which is always something that helps a coach's mindset from building off of a game like this. It's an important takeaway, despite what the score ended up being. That is all from us on the Averett Sports Network. I'm Chewy Clark with Luis Martinez. Make sure you tune in this upcoming Friday as our men's lacrosse team takes on a high-ranked Washington and Lee for their senior night. We will see you all then. Have a blessed night.